Hello, gorgeous souls. Welcome to CosmoMuse Tarot and your April 2024 outlook. So we are going to pick 4 animal cards for the 4 different piles to choose from. Feeling that. Pile 1 is zebra. Pile 2, woo! Well, 2 came out. Panther. Shark. That's too many. And one more. I'm feeling this one. And horse. Love it. Okay, so just a little bit about April before we jump into this. We will have an Aries North Node total solar eclipse, I think on the 8th. It's a big eclipse because it resets what's called the Metonic cycle. It's a 19-year cycle that the lunar nodes go on, so it takes 19 years for one of the lunar nodes, so they're opposing each other. So one of them, the north node, to get from one point all the way around the zodiac and return to the same point, it takes a little under 19 years. And the north node is, the nodes determine in what sign and when we're having eclipses. And so the north node is the beginning and ending point, and the south node is like a halfway point where you start to face some karma and make some sort of edits to life. So they both hold some sort of like ending beginning energy. One is like a full ending beginning, and the other is like sort of like what's become productive and what hasn't, making those edits, what's made the cut and what hasn't, and then like taking that into a new journey sort of thing. But we're having that north node in Aries, so an eclipse in Aries, and those always happen on the new and full moons. So new moon eclipse in Aries on the 8th, I believe, of April. And Aries is the very first sign of the zodiac, and so it's been 19 years since like our first the beginning of the zodiac has had a rebirth. So the sign of rebirth having a rebirth, which means, and like Aries can really connect to how we find our center, our passion, our drive, what lights us up. So getting into the very basic essence of who we are. And so a lot of us with this eclipse series over the next year we'll kind of be feeling a whole new rebirth of ourselves. So it's an important month. It is just a seeding of this, like the laying, planting a seed about this, but nonetheless still really pivotal and important, and a month of, lots of endings and beginnings in the greater world. For some of us in our personal lives, but definitely out in the greater world, we'll see a lot of this. Okay, if you need some time with these animals, feel free to pause. When you're ready, timestamps will be in the descriptions, and I will see you in your April reading. Hello, Pile 1. Welcome to your April 2024 reading. So you guys picked the zebra. Really fun card to have. This definitely shows that like a curiosity is sparking up in you, a new kind of fresh desire to travel and explore, as well as to show your uniqueness, especially in your sense of style. So just kind of, I don't know, like this has me just like you're feeling your oats, like just kind of ready to be you, show your true colors, explore, experiment, and have a bit of fun, really. I like that. Okay, let's get an archetype card to get a little more in depth here. Feeling this one. And then we've got the mirror, as well as a full moon up here. And like full moons can really be times of like reflection and mirroring. So the full moon of April may be a pivotal moment for you of really kind of stepping into like your true full colors, which is going to, the full moon of the season will take place in, I believe, let's see, Scorpio. Interesting. And it will take place, so if the new moon is on the 8th, it will be 2 weeks after that, so closer to the end of April is when that full moon will come, and it definitely feels like you will be, something's going to be reflected to you that will help you to see how unique and original and beautiful and amazing you are. Not to say that the rest of the month won't have that essence to it, but something's really sticking out here about the full moon timing in Scorpio. It'd be interesting to hear in the comments if any of you do have like Scorpio sun, moon, or rising. It wouldn't surprise me if a lot of people with those placements are drawn to this pile. But I think in general in April, there's just like this tone of coming into like acceptance. Sometimes when we have, you know, in general, some mirroring coming in for you. And sometimes when we have that happen, we see ourselves more accurately. And I think you are seeing yourself for how original and unique and amazing you are. And really just feeling it, just really like, I am special. I am cool and interesting, and I do have my own kind of vibe going on, and I kind of like that. And let's just have fun with this. Okay, let's get a Sacred Destiny card. A little bit about the tone, maybe about how this will feel or bring up, what it might bring up in you. Action. So it's going to, all of this reflecting, mirroring, and really seeing yourself for how like unique and beautiful and crazy original you are is like kicking in a motivation. And that is tapping into that Aries energy that we have this month. So I do see, because the full moon will come once we're in Taurus season, so this action showing up does make me feel like all month, like even before the full moon, there's just this mode in you of like, let's get to it, let's get moving in life, let's do the things, whatever the things are for you. But especially like just putting yourself out there, showing your true colors, putting yourself out there, being your vibrant, alive self, and charging toward what you are suddenly feeling excited about. Like whatever's lighting you up, it's like time to turn the on button, the green light. It's the green light month for you. Okay, let's get a couple of astrology cards around this. We've got Pallas Athena, and that's all about, it's like if you were to combine Mercury, which is about messages and information and intelligence, as well as the moon, which is about intuition and kind of instinct, intuition, premonition. It's almost like if you were to combine those two planets, that's like this Pallas Athena is sort of like the father's daughter, the girl who really models after the father, and she has like strong intellectual capability, but also this like deep wisdom and caring and nurturance around it too. And then the key word here, think. So I do feel like strategy, you're not just being totally impulsive and like, yeah, let's just go and do the things and, you know, whatever comes without putting thought into it. This is showing that even though you're ready to take action and move on your impulses, you're not forgetting some action steps and planning with that, and really feeling into your intuition and thinking more broadly about your actions. So it's a really great concoction, because sometimes if we're like really deeply in the Aries energy and just act on impulse, we can sort of have some false starts and get in over our heads sometimes. But this is, yeah, showing that you're on top of it. Scorpio, this is confirmation. The Scorpio full moon is going to be really big for you guys. I don't know why or what that's about. Maybe let's pick one more card specifically about why the Scorpio moon is so important for you guys. And it is, investigate. That is a great Scorpio word. It's about digging in. Solar flares activation. It's something about the Scorpio full moon really like kicks your energy into gear. Like you just kind of come alive. I don't know. That's like the true on button for you in your year. Because even though Aries is the start of the astrological year and does bring that like lighter, brighter, strong energy, the first half of it is sitting behind the North Node where it's ending things and it's in shadow and it's a little exhausted. So it doesn't surprise me that like later in the month is when kind of the energy like kicks in. So I think you'll be feeling a little bit lighter, a little more energy coming into April, but something about whenever the Scorpio full moon is, well, let's see. Okay, if the new moon is on the 8th, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 21, 22, it'll be around the 22nd. It's probably not exactly that date, but close to the 22nd of April is when that is. And that's sort of like the on switch for your year. Not only is it, into the spring energy of the zodiac, at least, you may be in the southern hemisphere where you're coming into autumn, but in the zodiac signs and seasons, it's kind of the spring, Aries, Taurus, the April holds are kind of those on switches, but then the North Node can also show where the on switch comes on as well. And both of those are happening this month. So but something about, around the 22nd, things really kicking in a big way for you. Okay, let's get a Moonology card as well about this. Ooh. Let's just take the top one. I only intended to get, I want to put this up here. Your commitment is being tested, first quarter moon. Oh, well, first quarter moon to me is similar to Aries energy. Even though the new moon has that wording in it, like something's new, it's beginning. When you think of patterns of light and dark, the new time always starts in the dark. Midnight is the new day. At least in the Gregorian calendar, New Year is at the darkest point of the year, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. The new begins in the dark, and then sunrise or Aries season and spring have that first quarter moon energy where we're starting to kind of rise into our light a little bit better, coming up from under the darkness and starting to push out into life. And so it's just, this again is just like a confirmation that generally this month is like new initiatives maybe coming up, new starts. Oh, also in April, we have Mercury retrograde. And if you don't know what that is, Mercury is our planet of like commerce and communication and travel and movement. And it's a really not great time when it's in retrograde to initiate new things. Things get a little bit haywire. Examples, like if you're making travel plans during a Mercury retrograde, it's almost guaranteed everything will have to be redone. your plane is going to reschedule things or move you or end up being delayed. The rental car, you won't get what you think you got, or they call and have to redo something's got messed up and you have to, it's just like, don't do new things. Don't make new plans. Don't sign new contracts, buy new things. But it ends April 25th. So again, it's like something is coming into that green light. It's like you sense it, but kind of near that full moon. And then especially when Mercury goes direct again about the 25th. It's like the last week of April, I think, is going to be like in general, because of Mercury retrograde, that will be the case for everyone, but something really specific for you guys. It's like some new initiative sparks, some new opening pathway, something to take action on, like a call to action, a new path, something really big for sure coming up with that. Okay, we are going to do some tarot cards to get further into all of this. Ten of Pentacles, the Empress, and Two of Wands. Two of Wands is that new opening, the new path opening to you. And it holds some financial, positive energy around finances. So whatever this new thing is, especially at the end of the month, it's holding a lot of fertility, a lot of potential around finances, and definitely kind of like this portal opening, like a path opening to you. Yeah, very cool. You may want to, and don't worry, if you don't know much about astrology, you can ignore this point or this little side shoot right now. If you do know your astrology chart, it would be worth looking at where especially Taurus lies in your chart, at least the early degrees of Taurus, the first 10 or so degrees of Taurus. Like, where are those in your chart? Do you have planets there? Something big in that. If you were to look at your chart, there's like 12 categories, like pie slices in a circle. And whichever part the first 10 degrees of Taurus are in, something in that category of your life is like kicking off new direction there. If you don't know your chart, don't worry about that. Just know that something is opening up. Some category of your life is having a really big, bold, new kind of frequency shift and opening and sense of energy suddenly infusing something in your life that's felt, I don't know, just like tired, dull, unmagnetic, just kind of blah. Like all of a sudden, like something reignites something in your life that's been feeling that way. Really beautiful. Okay, I just want to roll an astrology, 2 astrology dice with the house numbers. I want to see which categories of life in general in April are going to have more, pronounced activity. Like, where is the main activity happening in your month? So 6th house, work, wellness, day-to-day routines. 3rd house, communication, communities, information, learning, movement. So these are both houses that are naturally ruled by Mercury. So Mercury retrograde does feel important here. Kind of ease into the month, be a bit chill. Don't push yourself, because come the full moon and then once Mercury goes direct on the 25th, it's like life is going to pick up. Busy, busy, busy. But in like a fun way, like picking up that zebra energy, like in a exciting way, a fun way, really feeling your oats, feeling your color, feeling all the things, and feeling excited. Okay, to end, I'm going to pull a goddess card that is going to be with you throughout April, which may also indicate how April could feel to you. Hathor, receptivity. Allow yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, energy, and ability to give to others. And that's how I feel about like that first 2/3 of April, before the full moon and Mercury goes direct, is like relax, receive, let things come to you, don't push. And then it's like suddenly it's like all the lights go on, the green lights pop up, the portal opens, the pathways become apparent. So just in the first 2/3 of April, just relax a little bit more and receive. Let things come to you. Yeah, beautiful. All right, I'd be interested. I feel like you guys need to come back after April and you know, if you can remember, I'm sure it's a month out, so maybe you won't remember, but if something happens around the full moon or in the last week of April that's like big in this new opening and you're like, oh my gosh, that reading was right, please come back and tell. Like, I would love to hear what it is. Okay, anyway, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. I wish you the best April. Eclipse season is already here, and yeah, all the things, Mercury retrograde and new starts, endings and beginnings, but for you guys especially, like the light turning on somewhere near the end of April. So, okay, if this resonated, I always appreciate support. Like, share, subscribe is a great way to do that. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, I hope to see you in future readings, and wishing you a beautiful day and a beautiful April. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your April reading. You guys picked the Panther. So you guys coming into April infused with eclipse season, where there are shadows that we are walking through in order to kind of purge out an old phase of life and welcome in a whole new chapter. And that Aries energy being very daring, it's like you guys are into this, like you are very activated by these cosmic energies and just like ready to get in there and do whatever shadow work needs to be done in order to get to your fresh start. You are coming into this month willing to face the shadows you need to face, willing to see what can sometimes be hard to see, or that just willing to see things that have been in your blind spot, and really coming into deep understandings then by being able to witness what has sometimes been hard to witness. You know, our shadow, at least the way we talk about it and like psychologically, it's behind us. It's hard for us to see it. And when a North Node eclipse comes, like is coming in early April, we get a peek behind that, you know, into that shadow, what's happening there. And so things we've been blind to, it's not necessarily like these things have to be really bad, but things that we have a hard time seeing do have a tendency to, you know, take on a life of their own without our conscious awareness, which can lead to patterns and issues that we're like, why does this always happen? Or why, you know, those things that we're like, why is it like this? Why does this always happen? And getting, yeah, it's like you're ready to see those whys. Why are these patterns in my life? That may be really difficult or may just be annoying, you know, it'll be different for each of you, but you're willing, you're ready to see it and to move on. And it's like, as soon as we see it, it is so easy to be like, oh, okay, I just wasn't aware, and now I see that and I got it. Like, no biggie, we can move forward now. So there's something like that happening for you in April, and I would imagine really close to the front end of April. The North Node eclipse is on April 8th. So yeah, first week of April. Because once we get over that North Node, we get into the new beginning. Before that is kind of like ending energy. And this may have to do with Aries aspects of life. So ways in which you may not see. I am definitely not labeling or calling you selfish people. Everyone has Aries in them. Everyone has a place in life, a category of life where they need to be more in their centered and, you know, more in our center, more self-determined, more in our agenda, doing our own thing. But there's something you may not be aware of about this in yourself, and you're just seeing that this month. Some way in which you center in yourself that you haven't been aware of, or ways in which you need more time to yourself that you haven't been aware of. It could also be that. Ways in which you need to be more selfish. It could go either way, ways in which you've been too selfish or ways in which you need to be a little bit more centered in yourself and clear about your direction, your agenda, your passion, or ways in which those things have gotten a little too much, you know? Could go either way there. Yeah, okay, so let's get an archetype card to get a little more here. The Destroyer. I love this. So Mars, which is the planet that rules Aries, which is our, until about, I don't know, I think it's like the 20th of April, we have Aries season. So the planet Mars ruling. Mars in the tarot is is the Tower card, which is like the Destroyer. And so you may be, and I'm feeling that feels accurate to me, like what this is trying to talk about is like in seeing certain shadows and in this willingness to witness and then let go and kind of let an ending happen so you can get to a beginning. It's like, no problem. Let's, you know, this is the end of a cycle. Let's out with the old so that there is room for the new. That's kind of what this is about. So for you, particularly like spring cleaning in the first week of April, or even through mid, you know, once we get over that North Node, sometimes that's when we actually spring clean. It's like we see the shadows and the chaos before it, and then we actually take action to clean out the messes after. So I would say the first half of April, you're kind of like seeing and then like clearing, whether that's your physical spaces, spring cleaning, your yard, your mind, your energy. You may end up doing, you know, consulting a nutritionist and doing you know, like a cleanse or a detox or some kind of fasting thing, which, you know, trusts professionals in that. Or it may be, yeah, purging your house or like kicking into a new, you know, there's a lot of physical energy with that Aries energy and that Destroyer Mars energy. So you may also be finding new motivation to like get into running or something where you're sweating, and that can also have that effect of like detox and sweating things out and purging out the toxins. Saunas and steam rooms, anything that sweats, anything that detoxes, anything that purges out the old, so your spaces and possessions and the debris of your yard from autumn and winter, whatever it is. It's just like it's time to get that stuff out, to see where the chaos has happened and why, to accept it, and then to clear out the debris and really, really, really make room for a big, bold, fresh start. And that's what that feels like to me. Okay, let's get a Sacred Destiny card for a little bit more about this. thriving. Yes, I love this. This, what we have talked about, this purging, this clearing, this facing shadows, this out with the old to make room for the new is making space for your life to thrive again. So some area of your life that has been filled with patterns that have been hard, things that have been hard to understand, with some chaos, and in the last years with some just dullness to them. It's like this is all being purged out this month for a fresh, new, fertile, thriving cycle to move in. Really cool. I love it. Love it. Very clearing energy. Okay, let's get some astrology cards. Whoop, that one just fell right out. 6th house, sustainability. So some of this could have to do with how you treat your kind of like your lifestyle. What do you do day to day that over time really shows, like, produces your wellness? Not only physically, but mentally. Your well-being is your physical and mental health. It can also show our purpose. So the 6th house can end up leaning a little too heavy into work because it craves for us to connect to our purpose in life, our usefulness. So things around work, how you process information or just process things, your day-to-day habits and rituals, and really finding a refined rhythm that creates an overall sense of well-being in your life. I sense that there's something here that's tired, that's exhausted, that you really need to take a good look at, the big picture of how this has gone for you for the last 18 to 19 years. And really do a deep purge of, what are my daily processes? What do I prioritize in my life to establish really beautiful sustainability in my day-to-day life that really produces a beautiful lifestyle that's balanced in work purpose, in organizing, systemizing, organizing, and all of the other things that life contain: nutrition, exercise, time with the kids if you have them, time with your spouse if you have one, time with friends. Like, what are the priorities and how can you create a well-balanced, well-rounded life, and really decide what your priorities are and make some tough cuts to things that just have... It's like, I get the sense that you've been trying to do too much with your days, and it's taken a toll, and it's time to just, decide what the priorities are and recognize that if I want to thrive in life, I maybe can't do everything. I need to pick the top things, my priorities, and just focus on those. 12th house, introspection. Yeah. And that is similar to the energy behind the North Node that we're coming into in early April before the eclipse, is like getting a peek into the shadow. The 12th house is our shadow house. Getting a peek into all the things we stuff into the closet that we don't want to deal with, that end up creating some chaos in our lives. But it's also where when we step into this with like the panther and we're willing to witness it and see it, that's where we can surrender and be like, all these things were so unnecessary, and this isn't as hard to look at as I thought. I've been putting this off for years, and it's really not a big deal, and it's fine, and I can let go of this, and I can let go of that, and just seeing it as lightening things up. And that lightening up that happens when we face the shadow and surrender and let things go is exactly where inspiration sets in, exactly where we start to feel what's incubating for the new cycle about to come in. So really beautiful. And then last, we have, that's just confirmation. Mars wanted to show up and say you were exactly on point. But look at this, we have 44 and 22. We have two master numbers here. 44 is like really building solid foundations. And then adding up to 8 to find our power, find where we are most powerful in life. And then Mars clearing the way in the 22, willing to reflect. So 2 is the polarity, is the reflection, really willing to powerfully reflect and see in order to clear out and create better foundations. So 2 adding up to 4 in the foundation. So it's like you have the 2 of reflecting, like double 2 and reflecting, and really seeing things and you know, confronting certain things, adding up to 4, and then we have 4 there, so we almost have 4 4s, or 3 4s, which is like really, really coming into understanding what creates a solid foundation in our life. And then the 4 adding up to 8, which gives us power in life to thrive. Yeah, wow, this is so clear. Okay, let's get a Moonology card for you guys. Leo full moon, don't let pride get in your way. Okay, so that may also have something to do with the shadows you come to see this month. Is your heart. You know, Leo has to do with heart, but it also has to do with ego. And it's sort of like ego and pride get in the way when we're too much in our mind and not letting our heart lead. And so you may be seeing things about that where your mind interferes with where your heart is trying to lead you. And your ego mind having these, attachments to some kind of pride or being seen a certain way. And it's like your heart really doesn't care about being seen a certain way. And if you can see some shadows about that and then just further drop into your heart, you're going to step so much more into a path, a new pathway of like really thriving in life instead of trying to like meet certain people's standards and images and expectations and needing things to be seen in a certain way. It's like, no, I think you're done with that. I think you're coming into a new phase of just, you know, opinions be damned. My heart is the greatest guide there is for me, and really finding some kind of understanding about getting out of your head in order to really let your heart thrive and lead you towards your thriving. Okay, we're going to do a few tarot cards, 5 of Wands, which is also a Leo energy here. And this is kind of, I tend to relate 5 of Wands to strategy. And you like planning and strategy, and you see that here, like these shapes, these people are building with their bodies. It would take like, a lot of sort of like understanding how you are positioning yourself and where the other person's going to be using you to position themselves. So like, a good degree of planning to be able to do something like that. But also with the Leo connection, it's like planning in terms of really putting your heart out there, putting your creativity and your command out there, the thing that you shine for, really having a plan of attack for like how you want to showcase your creativity. So definitely something creative coming through here too for you guys. King of Wands, which is like a master creator, a master of creativity, a master of command. So something, I feel like you maybe have some great creative command and authority, but maybe you've been allowing external things to influence that too much of like how that's supposed to look. And it's time to just like own your authority and be like, no, it's time to do leadership and creativity and my heart space and the way my heart wants to do it, not in some specific way of doing things that's respected or that's traditional, or, you know, it's like I need to get out of that box and do things the way my heart wants to do them, which might mean stepping out of out of the box a little, being a little bit more daring, to be more unique. And then your last card just fell on the floor, or your last tarot card, Page of Cups. I love seeing this after what we were just talking about. This definitely indicates you feeling a lot of new creative potential, like your emotions feeling new potential, new energy, a freshness coming in. Yeah, I think that you're already there. It's like you're ready to step out and just be daring and bold and brave in your own way, more out of the box than you've allowed yourself to be in a new cycle coming up. And sometime in April, especially after the 8th, but maybe even closer to the end of April, it's like you're really going to come into like a deep sense of potential and fresh energy around this. So you may come into April feeling like, I'd like to feel that way, but I just feel exhausted. And it's because there is some shadow work that needs to be done early on. But by the end of April, it's like fresh potential, stepping out of the box, feeling like a plan is coming together, feeling like your heart is turning on because it's no longer being caged because of some shadow work you did, as well as like lifestyle and some healing coming in and a lot of purging of old things. So just kind of reviewing all the things that came through here. Okay, I also want to roll 2 zodiac dice with the houses on them. So there's 12 houses in astrology which rule the categories of life. And I just want to see which categories of life are going to be the most active this April for you. So 3rd house, that's already kind of been coming up. So that seems to be a thread. And 2nd house. So a lot of communication. We do have Mercury retrograde from April 1st to 25th, which can create a little bit of like, extra energy around communication and movement and community and information, but in a way where it's like, because it's extra, sometimes it has to be redone because there's like so much. It's like a bottleneck happening, and it's like too much is in the bottleneck, and in order for it to get through, you have to keep sort of refining and redoing and rethinking and revising. So it's just like a little bit of extra mental energy placed on the month to really kind of purify things going through our minds. And then you have 2nd house too, which is about slowing down to, I like this balance because the 3rd house is sort of like, it is on, like busy, 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 mind is on, can really ramp up some anxiety. But then the 2nd house is all about slowing down to really engage your 5 earthy senses and perception, to really enjoy life, to smell the roses, to savor, beautiful meals, and notice what your tastes are, and really beautify your spaces and beautify yourself. So a little bit of a balance there, which is nice to see. A little bit about slow living and beauty, and a little bit of like I feel this sort of roller coaster where there will be like these dips down that are like nice and enjoyable, and then all of a sudden it's like busy, 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 and then it dips down. It kind of feels, I don't know, it's not like the cards are saying that, but that's what I feel is like an ebb and flow of this. Okay, we are going to end this reading by getting you a goddess for your month of April, which may also show a little bit about the month too for you. Irene, peace. There is no need to worry. Everything is working out beautifully. So I pick from this goddess deck a lot in my daily life, and this could be more about my personal associations that I've noticed, or like patterns I've noticed when I pick this card. But in knowing Irene's a little bit about her mythology, I think it does overlap with what's going on in terms of how I feel this card when it comes up, is it does indicate some element of feeling chaos around you, like there's a lot that's a little bit out of control going on. But just knowing that below the surface there is actually an order to this, and it is actually leading to like something new, something thriving, something fresh. So the month could feel a little bit spinny in some ways, which doesn't shock me because that shadow work is facing the chaos. But this is indicating that by doing that, you have to kind of go through it to get to the peace. And Irene is with you on that journey to kind of walk through the chaos to get to the peace that lies on the other side, that is incubating and birthing a whole new, fresh, fertile cycle coming through by, and at least feeling a sense of that by the end of April. Yeah, so really cool. Beautiful, beautiful reading. I'm excited for you. It feels like a relief. It feels like this is the month you get to the other side of something. This is the month where that new thing starts. That new thing, maybe not starts, but sparks. That new spark is felt. And really clearing out, I don't know, the chaos of something that has just hit its threshold, and seeing, and this is that page here, this is it, seeing the threshold to the new. You maybe haven't entered, like crossed the threshold, but you see it, and the chaos is behind you, and everything is clear and fresh and bright, and you're just kind of like taking a minute to soak it in before you walk through that threshold. So a bit of liminal space this month, but all leading to this fresh sense of like, yeah, I'm ready to move forward, at least in some category or aspect of my life. It's time for a whole fresh new cycle. Okay, so this is your reading. If it resonated, I always appreciate support with likes, shares, subscribes are always the easy way to do so. Kind and thoughtful comments are also always appreciated. But just being here is supporting my channel, so thank you. And I really love reading for you guys, and just, you know, so excited when you guys get something from it as well. And yeah, so good luck in your journey of April, this kind of crossing through some chaos and shadows to get to the view of a thriving new cycle coming in. And yeah, so happy April, happy beautiful day where you are right now, and I will see you in future readings. Hello Pile 3, welcome to your April 2024 reading. So you guys picked the Shark. And this card, while it may feel intimidating at first, I really think once it does like kind of goes through its function, it really brings greater empowerment. So the Shark is all about confronting certain things in our lives, which doesn't shock me. So the pile before you had the Panther, and it's similar. It's like the Panther's kind of like facing our shadows. This one feels a little bit more concrete and assertive, like not necessarily these intangible shadows or patterns, but like something specific that you have to confront coming into April. And it is a month that we have an Aries solar eclipse, April 8th. And if there's any energy about confronting something specific and being really assertive and determined and strong in doing so, it would be an Aries solar eclipse, especially on the north node. So eclipses happen on the north and south node, and the north node is like the ending and beginning point. The south node is like the halfway point. And it's so for any for the north node, I mean both of it, but we're talking about the north node here, for it to return to a spot in the zodiac, it takes almost 19 years, and it brings the ending and beginning. So we're ending and beginning things in the Aries energy of assertiveness, of finding our center, our passion, our personal agenda, our sense of self, our clarity about life, our path and direction. So a lot of really huge resets, a whole new 19-year thing sparking off in that kind of energy. But I'm feeling that for you guys in April, with this energy coming in, there's something really specific you're wanting to confront about this. Or you could just be very eager for that to happen and just like feeling aggressive about, like clearing anything in your path to getting to that new start, that fresh, new path. So you may need to confront your own assertive tendencies, or there may be something specific you need to confront in order to like really get to that new start. But the shark itself is one of the most ancient creatures on Earth that like still lives today. Its survival capacity is second to almost none. Like, it is a survivor. It is fierce, it is strong, it is smart. And that ability it has to confront things has no small part to play in its survival capacity. So I just feel that you guys, whoever's come to this pile, like, I'm not saying there's things in April you're gonna have to like be survivors of, but it's just like, you know how to survive. And so it's sort of like, because of that instinct you have, exactly what it is you need to like get at or move towards or kind of tackle and hone in on, right? Yeah, let's get an archetype card to get a little deeper into that. Feeling this one, Kairos timing. So there's, it's like this month, it's the exact timing because of this Aries solar eclipse on the north node. It's like exactly the right timing to confront something and move past it. To move in, to use your survival instinct to move past something, to confront something and move past it towards a whole new cycle. But I feel, and then I don't know, with this eye here, I just feel something enlivening, like awareness, like a strong awareness, a strong presence. Yeah, it's just like I don't know, there's a lot of intelligence here. It's just like you're very aware, you're very sharp, or at least you will be feeling this month. And something about that awareness and sharpness and being present, it's like, that energy, holding that kind of energy is exactly what it is that will bring you that right timing to confront that right thing, to move past some kind of obstacle or hurdle is what I feel. That I think you've struggled with for a few years. So something about April, staying very present, very aware, on the lookout, because there's something that's going to come up and it'll be the right timing. go for something or to confront something. Yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. Let's get a Sacred Destiny card and see if any more is revealed about this. But I mean, that eclipse energy is very prevalent here. It is, regardless of any cards that come out, it is a whole new start around like a 19-year reset around our sense of self, what lights us up, what motivates us, what gives us drive and energy. Adventures. That's what feels like the new, like what you're, like a new sense of adventure in life. Yes. Like how you've felt motivated and lit up in life maybe tends to be connected to feeling life as adventurous, and maybe that's felt really dull in the last few years, but it's like the timing this month to kind of, I don't know, get over a hurdle, past an obstacle, something, confront something that like re-engages that adventure energy for a whole new cycle in your life. Beautiful. I love it. Okay, let's do a few astrology cards around this. This is like a very exciting pile to me. Like, I was a little nervous with just Kairos and the shark, like, wow, there's something like really like almost bordering on aggressive here. But now with that coming out, that's like, that's what you're trying to get. I get it. That's what this is about. It's not just a general energy. There is something specific here. And I think it's so exciting and yeah, just definitely a motivating factor for you guys to confront something or to clear some obstacle in your life in order to get a whole new fresh start in adventure in life. And then we've got Vesta with Hearth. I don't know, maybe some of you could be moving, or the way you feel a sense of at home in your body, or the way you tend to your inner fire is coming up here. That actually makes sense in relation to what we've talked about. A new spark coming alive in you, a new adventure spark coming alive in you that will need you to tend to it. But yeah, I'm not worried about that for you guys. But I think that inner flame has been a little bit fizzled out. like it got damp and kind of fizzled out, but it's like reigniting. That new inner spark is reigniting this month. Yeah, and I'm not worried about you guys tending to that to keep it alive. I feel that you know how to do that quite well. Aries act. Yeah, I mean, that's confirmation. Aries solar eclipse is kind of activation point. That is like the point of the month where you have that new spark, and this is 1, which is the new spark, and Aries is the first sign of the Zodiac, which is the new spark. And it's been a little bit, that Aries energy in everybody has been a little bit depressed the last few years. And, but yeah, a whole new 19-year journey is sparking with this eclipse. So exciting. Okay, one more astrology card. And look at the lightning on here. It's like some kind of lightning timing, a lightning, like catching lightning in a bottle, it igniting a new spark within and igniting some kind of new adventure, or at least an adventurous spirit coming back to life. And then you've got 10th house and authority. So this may, for some of you, you might have like Saturn in Aries, or you might have Aries in your 10th house of career. Or you could have Mars in Capricorn. Anyway, doesn't matter what the concoction is, but there is something with all of this related to career too, or at least something you work hard, like focus hard and work hard to master and be an authority in. Something you're really able to dedicate yourself to and hold responsibility in. I don't know. So there could be something new, some lightning strike that happens in terms of career that really sets a new journey into motion. Or something sparks in you about kind of like gaining, like moving towards a new thing to gain mastery in, that's feeling passionate in you. Or a new adventure that sparks in you, that could be the destination. It's maybe not what draws you to enter adventure and excitement, but kind of you end up with some kind of mastery by going on a journey. Could be that as well. Okay, let's get a Moonology card. South Node, don't let your past hold you back. Yeah, it's time to let go of the last cycle. Anything old adventures, old journeys that you've been desperately trying to hold on to or make them feel exciting again, they're done. They're done, and something new and more exciting for who you've become is coming through. So don't hold on to the past. Don't try to make whatever adventure is coming up or whatever new thing is sparking. Don't try to duplicate or replicate what you have been doing, what adventure you've been on, no matter how much you want to hold on to that, whatever you're coming out of. That's done. Stay open-minded, stay fresh, open to the possibility that something so much greater than you could conceive of is coming for you. Don't hold yourself back due to trying to hold on to the past. Time to move forward. Okay, let's do a few tarot cards. Four of Wands. Yeah, something specific is happening this month. Something to celebrate again. So some kind of mile marker, move of home, new career, literally some kind of new adventure, but something to celebrate. And specifically to really connect to your tribe, your chosen family, to celebrate them, celebrate whatever thing, like event happens, but also take time to celebrate, like everyone is going through this new reset right now. So take time to see what new things are going on for other people and celebrate them, and just engage with community in this whole new fresh phase that so many, and especially you are coming into. I do feel of the pile so far that you guys probably have some Aries placement. So this may be, in terms of community and new things going on for everyone, like your thing may be proportionately bigger, but that doesn't mean, that you're the only one that has exciting new things coming on. And I feel this as because the Four of Wands is celebration for something new, some exciting new thing, and that's about you. But I feel this Three of Cups as celebrating with community for everyone's new things, like just this fresh sense of community, but not making everything about you. So do something, have people over or plan a dinner that's specifically about whatever this event is, to celebrate it with people, to honor whatever it is that comes for you. But make space to just generally get together with people beyond that and celebrate whatever new is happening for them as well, or just a new fresh sense coming into community as well could be happening. And then the Lovers, wow. So there could be new spark, new, if you're single, some new romance coming in. If you're already with someone, just new spark coming up in this. The Lovers could also indicate decisions being made, but because of the other tarot cards coming out here, it does feel a little bit more like love related. Not necessarily decision, but just I don't know, there's just a deep belonging of all of these cards that came out here. It's a deep belonging coming through that feels stable. It feels stable. It feels relieving. It feels fresh. It feels fun. It feels vibrant. Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay, we're going to roll some Astro dice to see the top 2 categories of life that will be active this month, that will be important this month. So in astrology, in an astrology chart, there's like a circle that all of your planets, the Zodiac contains all of the planets, but also 12 pie slices within that circle, which are categories of life. So we want to see which categories are going to be most active for you this month. Relationships, that makes total sense with that Lovers coming out. So relationships, but also it can, so the 7th house is about relationship in general, which can be, with people, a relationship with a special love interest or someone you're in a commitment with. It can also be any one-on-one relationship, as well as agents. So like an attorney or a real estate agent, or, anyone you're kind of placing your trust in a special way. But anyone you have a deep one-on-one relationship with too. But relationship in general also has to do with design and aesthetics. So you may feel a sense of design and aesthetic heightened this month. And it's also about finding those right tensions that really sing, that make, relationships with if they're too tight, it's like a sour sound. If they're too slack, it's just like a dull sound, but the right tension in relationships just sings. You do want a little bit of tension in a relationship, and that's not a bad, tension isn't a bad thing. It's what makes things harmonize and beautiful. So you may become really aware of harmonizing things in general this month. And then you have 11th, which is kind of starting to see the future, starting to feel hope and belief in the future, in humanity, feeling connected to groups and collaboration. So that 3 of Cups coming through, that takes on more significance. So some of this adventure and new spark and career may have to do with, it may be a little bit more collaborative in nature. Or this could just be separate, that there are things going on with certain groups. And that it's not always like friend groups. It can be like groups we join because of causes we believe in, or our industry that we work in is kind of like a group. It's just group energy, it's networking, it's, but also breaking out of the mold to understand your uniqueness. We really have to own our full spectrum of color and our originality when we open up into boundaries of working with big groups. We don't want to lose ourselves. So in the 11th, it's also where we come to understand our originality despite the group, but contributing our originality to a group and letting go of ego, that it's not about us, but contributing to something from that unique original place that we have. If we don't know our uniqueness, we can't contribute to the group, right? We're just kind of there and going with the tide. But if we own and understand our originality and uniqueness, we can contribute so much more to that group energy, to that cause, to the future, whatever it is. So something like that becoming important as well. This month in particular. Okay, to end, we are going to get you a goddess for April that wants to kind of be your guide, which may also showcase a little bit about this month. Green Tara, start delegating. Ask others, including me, to help you instead of trying to do everything yourself. So yeah, collaboration coming in, relationships, that can also be, working in our relationships, working in groups. Letting other people shine where their originality shines. being able to not only see your originality and what you can contribute, but because you can see that in you, you can see it in others, and really passing off and delegating to people's strengths. So maybe you're in some kind of leadership role too this month a little bit. But I feel this energy. You're just like on it. Like something's really shifting for you this month, and like it's just go time. There's no lag between the spark and the action. It's just time to go is what it feels like here. Really beautiful. So new adventure coming in, getting past any kind of obstacle or something you need to confront in order to get to that, and just, I don't know, you're on your way. It feels like a whole new cycle coming in. That's, I don't know, it's just beautiful. It's exciting, it's beautiful, it's fun. I want in on it, whoever you guys are. I want to be your friends. All right, so that's where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate the things like, share, subscribe are very helpful and supportive, and also kind and thoughtful comments are always appreciated as well. And yeah, I wish you a really beautiful April wherever and whenever you see this, and good luck. Especially pay attention to once that Aries eclipse has taken place, because I feel like that's when the month is really, this energy we've talked about is really kicking in. Okay, I will see you guys in future readings. Hello, beautiful muses, pile 4. Welcome to your April 2024 reading. You guys picked the horse. One of my favorite animals. It is definitely an animal that knows how to work hard. When you think of horsepower, like you guys have the energy in April to get things done. You have horsepower behind you. But I also think of this energetic fuel tank that is just has so many reserves in it, where working hard doesn't mean you don't have time or energy to play hard. I see the horse as having so much energy to work hard and play hard. It's like, some people may look at you this month like you're burning the candle at both ends, but I don't think you will feel that in yourself. Other people may feel exhausted watching you this month, but I think you're just enjoying it. I don't think it's phasing you how much output is happening for you in April. It just feels exciting, like life has turned on. You know, it's time to get into things and put your head down and work hard when needs be, and then shake it off and go play and go, you know, do some outdoor things and socialize. And yeah, it's just into all the stuff. That's what I'm feeling for you guys. Into it all. Into all that stuff, especially if you're in the northern hemisphere with spring kicking in. That fresh, you know, days are lightening up. Days are lengthening in their hours. Yeah, and then an archetype card, we have the self. And this couldn't be more on point for what is going on in April with the Aries lunar eclipse. Is all about a whole 19-year journey ending and beginning in the Aries energy. Look, and the candle just went out on that, which just solidifies. And I was specifically looking at the pearl when that happened, of like that energy. Aries energy is the first sign of the zodiac. We all have every sign within us, by the way. So even if you don't have sun, moon, or rising, or a planet in Aries, Aries rules a category of your life. And that category that it rules, or if it contains a planet or a special point, has an energy of where we're able to really come into our center, find our personal passion, find our personal agenda, figure out what lights us up, and come into a sense of ourself. And so a whole 19-year cycle is ending and beginning with this Aries solar eclipse on April 8th. So exciting. So, yeah, I just feel like you're feeling it. Like you, and this is partially not talking about the cards, just some general energy going on. Like that Aries energy has been a little depressed in everybody. And sense of self is shifting in everybody. And suddenly it's just like this month, something new turns on in that regard. It may start out as just this initial inner little flicker inside of us, but it's nonetheless exciting and motivating, and I think it's just like it's turning on something in you that's very horse-like that maybe you haven't felt in a while. Like maybe you're someone who's like, yeah, I can relate to the horse energy, but I haven't felt that for a while. It's coming back. Or maybe you relate to it in general, but that horse energy is like coming into a new sense of strength and a new sense of rebirth. If you've never felt the horse energy, this new Aries 19-year cycle opening up may integrate some horse energy into you. So pay attention to April 8th and the days following that. For a sense of that, I don't know, some horse. It's funny, I didn't, with the other piles, of course, I definitely tuned into their animals, but in this pile, for some reason, it's like, no, this horse energy is integral to you and this whole 19-year cycle coming in. Whether you already relate to horse energy or feel like you've at points had horse energy or you've never had it, it's like horse, whatever's happening to these Aries new moon seeds or solar eclipse seeds that land in you, they are integrating horsiness into you, and like so much power, so much energy, so much capacity to be into all the things and really, I don't know, just have energetic power in life coming with this new initial 19, the start of this 19-year seed is like the most pure energy of the 19 years. And it's just igniting this new, horsepower in you. I don't know how else to say it. I feel like I just keep repeating that, but it's like, it feels so strong. I keep wanting to say something more grand about it, but Okay, and then we'll get a Sacred Destiny card, taking risks. Yeah, take a leap. If something comes up this month, I don't think you'll hesitate because of the energy I've already seen here, but like if you do have, like something comes up and it's like, oh, it's kind of a risk. Either this opportunity or this offering is a risk, or this thing that now feels that like lit up in me feels like a risk. Kind of just accept that that's your path, is to take a risk this month, to follow that impulse, to follow the light that's suddenly turned on in you. See where it leads you. But it's time to fly. Look at that. I don't know if I think it's a hawk, but it's kind of time to fly. Time to fly, time to trot and charge and gallop. I'm like, what's the run word for horses? Gallop. It's time to fly and time to gallop. Time to just feel yourself and move into life with your lights on, your energy on, your aura big, your tank filled, your reserves filled. It's like, yes, just yes is the word coming through really clearly. Yes. Okay, let's get some astrology. Retrograde review. So this is bringing up that we do have Mercury retrograde this month from April 1st to April 25th. If you don't know what that is, Mercury has to do with communication, information, movement and travel, connection, community. And when it's in retrograde, it's like everything is getting, like, so much is going on in that realm that things start to get bottlenecked. And so we end up having to redo things a lot and rethink things and revise things. And it's a great time to reflect and review things. It's not a great time to initiate things. So I feel like this card was coming out to remind me before I got away with myself about the saying yes, because this did come out right after I was like, say yes. There needs to be a revision to that. Say yes after the 25th, after Mercury goes direct. Dream up these things, let them incubate, feel yourself turn on, feel things come to life, let opportunities or offers come or ideas come up in you, but don't say yes until after the 25th, if that's possible. So that's a good reminder. It's fine to dream and think and let things come to you, but initiating and saying yes, hold off for just a minute. So I do feel that you're going to have a lot of restraint, because I feel this like really big, bold energy that's going to draw a lot in and move a lot in the world as well, which means I think there will be a lot of activity. And so the impulses that come with that, the openings that come with that, the connections that come with that, you may need some restraint to like kind of be like, let me think on it for a minute kind of thing, instead of just yes, you know. Descendant, and interesting with invitation, because I do feel that you're getting like offers and opportunities this month, but just if it's possible, just say, can I think on it? And I know that could be hard if some kind of invitation comes like April 1st and you're like, can I have 3 weeks to think on that? Sometimes that's not possible, but if it's possible with certain invitations, especially if they're important things like a job offer, or I don't know, like a big foreign trip that's planned 6 months in advance or a year in advance, like something big like that, do your best to kind of delay saying yes there. But if it's little things, if it's like, oh, hey, come to dinner tonight, or, you know, we're going to go do this activity, you know, those things, whatever, you know, they may not go as planned, but it's still fun. It's still an adventure to go out and do things and not have them turn out exactly as you imagined. Sometimes in those with a Mercury retrograde, sometimes in those delays and reorients and redirects, those are adventures in themselves, and they take us on side paths we wouldn't have traversed had that not happened, that then like brings our awareness to something we never would have seen or thought of if that hadn't happened. So, and then ascendant entrance. This is the yes coming through again, like invitation and entrance, descendant and ascendant. Let things come to you, like get out and move and communicate, but like some kind of whatever you're taking a risk around, and whatever I felt that thing of like say yes to, it's coming to you. And it's something you're supposed to do, but just try to, you know, for a lot of you, it may come after Mercury, like in the end of April. That's what I feel like. Kind of put feelers out, especially if there's something specific you're trying to initiate or get, you know, like say you're looking for a job or something. It's like, maybe get out there and network and talk about the fact that you're doing that, but maybe don't like send new resumes out if you have that luxury. I know for some people that's not, you know, when you need a job, you need a job. But if you're in a position, like maybe you're already in a job and you just want a different job, it's like, maybe talk to your like people who wouldn't maybe trigger your current job that you're thinking of leaving, but like talk to friends and family and like people who might have good networks. Kind of put the feelers out and kind of see what comes back without putting resumes out this month. And maybe by the end of April, after we've gotten over that retrograde hump, something comes to you. That's what I feel. And it doesn't have to be a job, but something like that. That's just a metaphor. So like put feelers out for something you're interested in. And then by the end of April, see what comes back. And then after the 25th, bigger things like that, say yes to, take the risk, go for it. Something big, new opening is coming around that. Okay, let's pick a Moonology card for you guys. This one. A personal issue reaches a resolution, full moon in Cancer. This could have to do with home. Cancer can be family, home, foundations, how you nurture and nourish yourself, your sense of security and stability, ancestors, anything there, but something's maturing there. But in terms of the other stuff that's come out here, taking a risk, putting feelers out, and something coming to you, this could have to do with home. Issues around home or family here. Or women, could also have to do with women, but I feel it as external to you. Cancer could also be like intuition and connecting to our ancestors and that kind of thing, but this feels more like objective stuff, like home, family, something. I feel like something's coming to you in that regard. I wonder if some of you have Aries like down in your 4th house, or like an Aries moon, or Mars in Cancer. I don't know, some kind of connection to the Aries energy and home. But that I don't know. That's interesting. I don't feel like that's the only thing. But yeah, for some of you, there could be, I don't know, a new home coming up. New family member. Could be a new family member. Yeah, interesting. Okay, let's get, some tarot cards. I don't know, those fell out, and I think there was more than I intended, but let's just see what happens. Temperance. 9 of Swords, Ace of Wands, there's our new start, and Queen of Pentacles. So it could, let's see. Close enough, right? Okay. So, yeah, a new sense of understanding how to balance your inner and outer world, how to harmonize different worlds in your life. You know, like sometimes we have very different kinds of communities that sometimes we have to balance and fracture ourselves a little to kind of hold space for each of those and kind of show up in a way that's appropriate for that community. But something is like coming back together, and that makes sense here. It's like all these pieces of self coming back into a sense of wholeness and really understanding, like a new sense of understanding how to balance the whole of who you are internally with all of your external circumstances, as well as how to balance the different worlds in a more harmonious way that that are part of your life and your own kind of makeup of self that make up who you are. really knowing how they fit together and how they harmonize together and how to hold yourself in a centered way in all of those places, and that helping to really, I don't know, maybe there's been some anxiety about that, about having to kind of be different versions of yourself constantly with like all the different things you're into. And not that it's like you totally change yourself, but like, you know, any kind of group or community brings out you know, and that's true with other, you know, like every individual brings out a different side of you, you know, but maybe you're just, for some of you, like really active people and have like a lot of different types of communities and people you engage with, and it's like become a lot to the point that it's a little bit anxiety provoking. Even if that doesn't fit how you find yourself, something's happening where you're really harmonizing the way you hold yourself as who you know yourself to be internally with how you are externally, and being just like a more whole, stable you in general in life. And something about that really calming your mind, really eradicating some anxiety that you may not have even known was there. And then we have, I kind of feel like these two cards go together, and then these two cards go together. Then we have Ace of Wands, which is that taking the, like that, I did get that sense like something specific is happening. Something, but it's like something's coming to you, I believe, too. It doesn't mean you can't get out there and like seduce things to come towards you, but something is going to come towards you. An opening, literally. Ace of Wands, you see that person going through an opening, some kind of opening, an offer, an opening, a new path. And it has the essence of the Queen of Pentacles involved. And just kind of, this feels like you, with the self coming through here, and then that what we talked about with the Temperance, being able to hold a more stable version of yourself internally and externally. It's this, it's like a very nurtured, like pragmatically nurtured, like really knowing how to nurture like who you're showing up as in a much more stable and fluid and dynamic and strong, powerful way, is like someone who really knows how to nurture your body, nurture your finances, nurture material creativity, bring together people for pragmatic reasons, for meals, for celebration, for real tangible things, real pragmatic and tangible things. But yeah, this is who the self that's coming through here. Not only is it integrated with that hoarseness of like horse power, but a real strong sense of physical presence, material understanding, fertile ability to create in the material realm, generosity in that, just like understanding your strength there. So no qualms about being giving and generous and a nourishing source in life for your own self, but for everyone too, that you let into your life. Really cool. But yeah, that's like whatever this thing is that comes to you that I think you're already kind of craving or seeking in a way. It's like when you say yes and when it comes to you and you take the risk and you say yes, on the other side of that portal that you go through, this is who you're going to just like step into being suddenly. I feel like you've been a little bit of this anxious person, and suddenly you step into just like your power. Wow. Well, and then going back to horsepower, your power. Yes. Interesting. Wow. I like where this went. Kind of unexpected, but I love it. Yeah, something new coming towards you. And by the end of the month, this bigger thing, take the risk, say yes, and you are going to step on the other side with such a strong sense of self, a new revived kind of horsepower, and feeling just fertile in a real pragmatic, concrete, earthy, beautiful, material, physical way. Yeah, gorgeous. Okay, we're gonna roll some Astro dice. I'm rolling specifically the house dice. So there's 12 houses in astrology. So in an astrology chart, it's like the Zodiac creates a circle, and then that circle is divided into 12 parts. And each of those are called houses, and they're categories of our life. They rule different categories of our life. So the different zodiac signs, because we all contain every zodiac sign within us, and each zodiac sign is going to rule like a category of how we function in a different category of life. And so I want to see which categories are going to be most prevalent in April for you guys. I think 3 has come up in every pile, and I think it has to do with the retrograde. Because Mercury rules the 3rd house naturally, like in a general way. And it's all about communication and community and movement and information and ideas. And so, yeah, when Mercury is having that bottleneck and things needing to be redone and revised, it's just like, there's just like extra energy there. Yeah, so a lot of busyness, a lot of movement, a lot of thinking, a lot of connection and communication. And then we have the 8th, and I love this. This is stepping into your empowerment, which seemed to be the theme at the end, stepping into your power, horsepower, empowerment. You are totally getting what your power, like a new sense of your power is igniting with this new 19-year Aries journey for you guys. I love it. I love this. Empowerment is coming for you with a whole new journey. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, last card. I almost ended, but then I was like, no, we've got one more card. I'm going to pick a goddess card for you guys, a goddess for your month, which could also indicate a little bit more about the energy of your April. So which goddess wants to kind of be your guide? Mawu, Mother Earth, like the Queen of Pentacles, you are called upon to help with environmentalism. So you may, whatever this new kind of 19-year opening that comes for you may include, with that Queen of Pentacles and Mawu, like really caring about the earth. But I think that this Earth Mother is about so much more. It is about understanding how to create fertile conditions, how to care for our bodies and our material lives, how to create, it has like Empress energy totally too, like how to just be a fertile person who can create endlessly with that reserve and horsepower. Just it's just very fertile energy coming out, but really caring about, yeah, the physical plane of things. Literally the earth, your body, your finances, your possessions, your land, the land in general. Yeah, really beautiful. And so kind of, I don't know, when you look at this goddess and the Queen of Pentacles that I feel is you, who you are coming into being, it's like just such calm, grounded, confident, sensual energy there. I love it. I love it. Okay, so that is your April reading. I hope this resonated. If so, I always appreciate support, likes, shares, subscribes. Kind and thoughtful comments are also always appreciated. What else do I usually say? I guess just thankful that you're here. I love reading. Thank you for letting me read for you. Happy April. Good luck with eclipse season. This is a huge one. Our first sign having, of our sense of center and self, getting this 19-year ending and beginning. It's massive. It's a huge deal. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave you guys. Have a beautiful April. Wishing you a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are, and I will see you in future readings.